Oops. Sorry, guys. Let me just get myself back on. Hi, everyone. I'm so sorry. I haven't done a YouTube live for ages. So if you can just let me know in the comments whether the screen is fine for you. I'm going to flip it back and put it onto my desk. And then just let me know. Send me a thumbs up or a comment and say it's all good. Okay. Oops. Sorry for the wobble. My one shows like only half a screen on my iPad, so I don't know.
Look at my screen yet to see now if it's fine.
Is that fine?
Yeah. Okay.
Is it good? Okay.
There's 20 people on it.
Okay. Thanks, everybody. Welcome to our National Scrapbook Day. Supposedly our online retreat for 2025. This is my little project. That's moving my thing out of the way. You don't need to see my big fat body. This is my little project that we'll be doing this evening. It's very quick and easy. I have to admit, it's something that I saw on Pinterest and I just adjusted it slightly to make it easier for all of us. So let's just go through it quickly. It looks like a little book. So it has a spine, and then when you open it, there's a little ribbon closure. Now you can use ribbon, you can use string, you can use lace, you can use anything you like to close it. But what it does is it holds this in place. Okay, so it's like a little concertina booklet. Now, for me, if you need something really quick and you need to give somebody a gift and you're running short on time, this is something perfect for that. And if you look at the inner measures about 5.5 by 4. So you can very easily get a cropped standard size photograph on here. There's place here for a photograph if you wanted to. The spine has got enough gap in here to allow you to put a little pocket here so you can add more photo mats there. There's lots of options. But that is basically what we're going to do this evening. I'll put it on the side here. So essentially, what makes this really cool is that you only need 2 sheets of 12 by 12 for it. I sized it so that, you know me, I'm not much for wasting. So hello Charlotte, hello Julia, welcome. I don't like to waste. So if I can get away with 2 sheets of 12 by 12, that's just a perfect situation for me. So let's get started. I'm just going to grab my trimmer. And I'm going to cut the base first. So your base measures 9 3/4 by 6 inches. And you can resize this to any size that you want. As long as your inners are about 1/4 to 1/2 inch. So I work in inches, sorry guys. So if you're a centimeter girl, you're going to have to adjust it slightly for your personal needs. But I prefer inches because it's simple. There's just so much less thinking. There's no points or nothing in an inch. So I did my sample with craft card, and I'm going to do the next one with black, just for a change of pace, because I don't like to do the same thing twice. So here are my 2 sheets of black. My cardstock is about a 250 gram base. This is my album card. So I make all my albums with this card. One of the reasons why I love it is because it does not crack when you score it, and that's a big thing for me. I can't handle the sight of cracks. It really gives your project a very unprofessional finish. So if we look at the measurements of the base, just want to show you, because I do have it written down here, it's 9 3/4. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to cut that down to 9 3/4. My trimmer is a, actually, sorry, we need, yeah, that's right. So 9 3/4 by 6. So I cut my 9 3/4 off there. Did I? I'm sorry, it should have been like that. So 9 3/4 and by 6 inches. Now my trimmer does not have a 6-inch mark. So I normally just take my ruler and mark it off for accuracy. This is the one downfall of this trimmer, is that you can't see where that 6-inch mark is. So that's our base. We've got 9 3/4 by 6 inches. Then I'm going to cut the two. I actually messed up here now because I should have gotten another sheet out of here. But that's how it goes. I had my grandchildren here today, so that's my excuse. I'm brain dead today. Hi, salams, Aziza. So our inners are 4 1/4 by 5 and sorry, our inners are 12 inches by 5 1/2. So I do have a 5 1/2 inch mark here. So I'm going to cut that down to 5 1/2. Other one down to 5 1/2. So because I wasted my other piece, I'm going to need a third page now. You can be crafting for a million years and you will still make a mistake. Okay. So I've got my 3 sheets there. I can put my trimmer away now, because that's our inner, this is our outer. So let's just go over that measurement again. 9 3/4 by 6 inches. We need to score this, and I prefer to score on an inch side, and I prefer to score with my ball tool. You know what happens to these tips become blunt after a while. You can see mine has been fairly well used, and I found that I get a much crisper score with the little ball tool. So this one we are going to score on 4 1/4. So it's 4 1/4 and 5 1/4. That gives us a 1-inch spine. If you've never scored and folded before, you have a dented side and you've got a bumpy side. I always fold towards the bumpy side because it makes it a little bit easier to fold. And just like that, you have your little base. We are going to burnish all those score lines again, but just let's get the scoring sorted. So with your 12-inch side facing the top of your scoreboard, we are going to score at 4 and 8. And we're going to do that for all 3 pieces. So 4 and 8. And then this one, 4 and 8. Okay, so we got all the scoring done. We can put the scoreboard away. Same thing, we're going to fold towards the bump. Can't understand why my landscape wouldn't work on YouTube this evening. I have no idea why. Now, whenever I work with dark card, I use my Teflon bone folder. One of the advantages of this bone folder is that it does not give you that ugly shine on dark card. So you can either use it with that edge, or you can use it with the side, and that gives you a very nice crisp score line. And we're going to do the same with all of these. Burnish. When you're making albums and anything that has a score, especially if you're doing waterfalls and stuff like that in your albums, the burnishing process is very important, because that is what allows your cardstock to lie completely flat. Now, in order to get the Z, we are going to do a valley and a hill. So that's what you want with your first piece. And I'm just going to reinforce those score lines again. Like I said, I wonder if I shouldn't take the black board away. Let me do that, because then you can see the black better. Same with this one. So we got that Z there. And the same with this one. Now you can make as many of these as you want to, but like I said, this is meant to be a really quick project. So if you are busy with something and you want to give somebody a really quick gift, then what was I gonna say? Then you don't want to add too many pages to the thing. So this is where you need to actually get your Z right, because when you're adding these together and you don't join them correctly, then you're not going to get that fold, right? So we're going to do this just to make sure that the Z is lining up like that. And all you need to do now is to glue these together. So we got the one. Now there is another option to do this. You can create a little joiner here, but I think this way allows the design to lie flat nicely. You are losing a piece there, but you know what? If you wanted to, you could just add tape around the sides, on the 3 sides, and leave the top open, thus creating a little pocket on the inside here. That is an option. Right, I use Stamperia's craft glue. The code is DC31. I love this glue. It works really well. It does not wrinkle or warp your paper or your card, and a little goes a long way. So making sure that our Z is lined up. Sorry, I'm just gonna have to make sure, because I have the camera stuck in the middle here. My alignment might be a bit out. Okay, so we got that part done, and we are going to add the next one. Let's put some glue on here, and you can use tape as well if you want to. The only reason why I use a wet glue is because I'm prone to sticking skew. And if I stick skew with double-sided tape, then the whole project is messed up. So I'm trying my best with, the wet glue gives you like a 5-second leeway where you can just adjust things still. So now we've got that done. And it's as easy as that. So that's your That's your pull out. Like I said, you can add more if you want to, but it's meant to be a quick and easy project. It is meant to be something that you can put together in under an hour. So we've got that done. The next thing we need to do is to add our pattern paper. So I did a Facebook Live earlier today to advertise the class because this is for our National Scrapbook Day, our winter online retreat. So every day, and I'll put the link to the Facebook page in the comments, every day from the 1st of July, almost said January, until the end of July, there'll be a class posted every day. Not everyone will be a Facebook Live, but the best part about this whole thing is that at the end of the event, there will be prizes. So each contributor will have an album on the Facebook page, and you have to submit your project, post it. So if you make one of these, you post it in my album, which is album number 2. And then at the end of July, we will do a lucky draw. And usually there's always some lovely prizes up for grabs. Regrettably, this is only for South Africa because our postal system does not work. We don't have a post office, so we can't ship something out of the country more economically. So people have voted for us to use Cosmos Infinity again, which is what I used on this one. I love the blues and the purples in here, so it's really a beautiful, beautiful paper pack from Stamperia. I know I'm biased towards Stamperia. I'm sorry, that is just how it is. So I'm going to look for some background papers. Let's see. These are all my bits that's left over from the previous one. Oh, look how gorgeous this is. It's just so stunning. So stunning. Right, decisions. I know I said earlier today this one was one of my favorites. So this one has got some beautiful tags here as well. So you can actually create a little composition, or you can, like I said, you can make a pocket and add some of the tags to that pocket. Oh, 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 this one's speaking to me. I think I like that. We've got that. Let's just go quickly through this. This is always the tough part, you know, making a decision to decide what to choose. I mean, look at this. Look at this sheet. Isn't it divine? It feels like you can literally fall through that hole there. This is such a stunning paperback. Okay, so I think I'm going to go with that. Now, what we need to do is, you first need, why do I feel like this is off? Let me just measure it. 1.5. Yeah, it is off. My carpenter's eye has told me it's off. Is that 1 inch? Yes. Yep, the side is longer. I could see the one side was longer. Let me just trim this down quickly. Sorry for that. I'm sorry, I am blind, so there we go. That works. Okay. So what we need to do is we need to put our pattern paper down here first before we actually place this inside. If you didn't want to add pattern paper, you don't have to. I just think that adding the pattern paper, because it will be so dark with all just this black on here. So let's see. I'm thinking of using this on the cover because it gives you options. And I love all those cracks down there. Okay, so I'm going to keep that for my cover. Let's go with one of the blues on the inside. But then the blue's so dark. Let's go with this. I'm just thinking of contrast. So, Yeah, I think I'm going to go with this on the inside. There'll be some left over, which is good. So what I'm going to do is I prefer to allow my pattern papers to run like in a sequence. So the easiest way for me to do this is I'm not partial to measuring much. So for me, the pencil method is one of the best methods ever. So all I do is I line this up. So we got, I mean, I'm just eyeballing it. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. If you are one of those people that prefer to measure every little inch, then by all means. But I think my pencil method works for me. Let me just switch my light on. I just need to see where that join is. So that's the one. So what I'm going to do is I'm first going to cut it across like this so that I have a bigger piece at the bottom that I can save for later. And I'm going to cut off screen because my trimmer is very big and bulky. That's the one. Okay, so this is our inner. I've cut the one there, so that's going to go there. Then this is the paper following on, and I know that's an inch, so I'm just going to cut about a 3/4 inch off here. I cut it slightly bigger than a 3/4 inch because I don't want too much of a border. So that's going to go there. And then this piece, I love this paper. I think it's so gorgeous. I'm a grungy girl, so. Hi, Claudine. Hello, Francis. So I've got my pencil mark there. I'm just going to cut that down. See now, I marked it and I can't see the pencil mark. Told you I'm blind. Where is it here? Okay. Right. So that is going to go over there. Now, when I make an album, I never really commit and stick things down immediately. In this case, I will, because it's a very quick and easy project. But when I'm doing albums, I paper clip my pieces together just in case later on I change my mind, because I'm prone to changing my mind. Sometimes when I want to add the glue and I look at the back of the paper, then I think, oh my gosh, I'd rather use that side. Now I'm cringing because I cut the tags up. Anyway, it is what it is. So for this piece, I'm just going to edge, and I've got my Scorched Timber Distress ink here. I love this color. I think even if you have a brown, and I keep repeating myself, even if you have a brown in your stash, guys, this is such a lovely color compared to Vintage Photo, Walnut Stain, and all that. But I'll show you the true color when we do some distressing shortly, because I've seen something on the other side that I feel requires a bit of distressing. And if you follow me on social media, you'll know that I'm very prone to cut into paper. So that one is going to go there. Is the right way up, eh? I had my grandkids here today. So, you know, I'm ready for bed, guys. I'm ready for bed. Because even though I didn't have much to do with it, it was just, I feel I'm getting old. I can't take the pace no more. There's a reason why you must have your kids when you're young. Doesn't help if the weather's cold also. Okay, so what I like to do when I have, let me just grab my craft sheet quickly, my craft mat, is, and especially with Stamperia paper, there's always so much distressing in the paper, which is one of my favorite things about Stamperia papers. So I am going to just glue this, tags, the poor tags that I cut up here. Let's place this down. So we're going to eyeball this to make sure, am I in shot, that the borders, top, bottom, right, left, are all in line as close as possible, so that's the right way. We are, see what I mean about having wet glue? Gives you a couple of seconds to play. Right. Now, this is just something I do. If you are not a grungy girl, then you don't have to do this, but this is just my signature. This is Stamperia's, what do you call this now? Ceramic pen. It's a cutter. And if I bring the tip up close, you should be able to see. I wonder if I'm in shot. It's got a little ceramic tip. There is a learning curve involved with using this one, but once you get it right, it is fabulous. I love it. It's very comfortable in your hand. It feels like a pen, and it cuts fabulously. So one of the things I like to do, can you see? Done deal. Is I love cutting into the paper just to add a little bit of extra distress to my things. Like I said, it's something I do. You don't have to. But I like additional texture on my projects. So there's another one. I always do it in threes, but I might put a pocket here. Okay, maybe I can distress on the pocket. Where's my scissors? This scissor for doing this, because if you distress like this, the paper naturally rolls over, so you can, I try to make a little groove there. Okay, that's just me. I can't resist that, so. Right, so we got a little groove there. Now, in order to, because now if I put this down here, I'm going to see black. And I don't want to see black. So I'm going to grab some of my offcuts from the previous project. And what I like to do is I like to find something that's contrasting to the inside paper. So, oh, look at that lovely circle there. Oh my gosh, I love that. What's on the side? I'm looking for something. Those tags I want to keep. Here are my other bits. That's too light. See, now I don't want to cut this up. Can you see if I can find something from something else? How about that? I'm looking for something dark. I think I'm just going to trim a piece off there. You see what I mean? Here's one. We can use that. Sorry, I'm being undecided here. Words. Yeah, I'm just going to cut a piece off here. Stop thinking too much. Faff to faff. So I'll just stick a piece of card behind here so that when this is laid down, we are not going to see the black. And I like this side better. And this is really a nice way of using up your bits and pieces that you have. I don't usually cut into the paper. I normally just grab from my off-cut strips that I have, which I probably do have. I just can't find it right this minute. Oh, you know what? I wanted to distress that. Hold on. Where's my distressing tool? So I need to do that. I can't. It's going to bug me. So what I normally do when I need to distress these little pieces, I don't want the ink to go everywhere. So I just push my finger in there. I can always wash my hands again. But once the ink has gone onto the areas and where you don't want it to, it just becomes a little bit messy. So I normally just do that. Can you see the difference that inking makes? So we're going to do that side. Okay, that's why I love the Scotch temper. It's so cool. Okay, let's put some more glue. Oh, look at that nice tag at the back there. Okay, so now when we look at that little piece, there's something behind it. That's a small one, so I'm just going to cut a piece off there. And what I normally do with this is I put some beads, or I put some of Stamperia's Glamour Sparkles or something around it. I don't know if I am going to do it in this instance, but we'll see. I never plan to far ahead. Right, so now we've got that, which I can glue down. So if you are the kind of person that cringes when you have to glue down the back of your paper like this, then you can always consider, in some ranges, they do a 22-page single-sided pack. So I must be honest, I've gotten used to working with the double-sided paper, and when I recently did something with a single-sided pack, I was so disappointed every time I turned the paper around. There was nothing at the back, so that was a little bit sad for me. So you see now this piece is going to go in there. But before we do that, we need to add our ribbon. Now you can either decide to add your ribbon, just a piece on this side and a piece on that side, or you can go the whole hog and add it to the entire back. That's up to you. I just want to get an idea of how much ribbon I have, because I cut too much ribbon on this one. And this is my seam binding, so I can't get it anymore. Okay, so I'm going to cut it off here. So let's see how much ribbon you need, so that I can tell you, because you'll buy ribbon in centimeters. That's 30, about just over half a meter. But that's if you're going to be like me and just stick the whole thing down like that. If you are going to just add one piece on one side and one piece on the other side, then by all means, that's also fine. So I use red tape to adhere ribbon, and I'm going to use a 12 mil because I think the ribbon is around about 12 mils. And I'm just going to eyeball the middle and put a piece down like that. With this red tape, sometimes I know people struggle to get the red part off. I don't like to use standard double-sided tape, and I'll tell you why. One of the reasons is that they tend to yellow, the ones that are available in South Africa. And so when I do construction or I make invitations where ribbons and stuff have to be adhered to, I use red tape because I don't want it to come loose. My nails are short, people. Let me just peel that off. And so we are going to measure that and place it down. And that's your little closure there. So you have two options. You can either first mat this whole thing and then place it in, but I'm going to put mine down so that you guys can see what it looks like when it's done. I'm just using glue again. And we're going to eyeball that, top and bottom, left and right. And your little Z fold is in. Okay. I'm going to close it. Like a bow. Oh, that's perfect. That's enough. So we need to work on the outside. Oh God, look how beautiful that is. Oh, that's such a stunning page. But I wanted to use, now you see, now I'm looking at the tags and I don't want to mess up the tags. I wanted to use that for the front, but I'm being a little bit stingy now. Yeah, I'm going to use this side. So same principle, I'm going to use my pencil method to mark this. So let's just see. I like all the dots at the bottom, so I'm going to keep that and I'm going to trim it on the top. So let's see, that's going to come off about there. I'm just going to cut off screen. So we've got that, and I like this part of the paper so much. It's a pity I can't make it the front. Where does it end? Okay. Oh, let me move this again so you can see better. Sorry. Hi, Karen. Right, so we're going to go with Mr. Pencil once again. I'm just pulling this down so I can see where I want to cut. And it's going to be approximately there. Just want to make sure I can actually see the mark because eyesight is going. The eyesight. And I'm going to do... Okay, so I cut that. Oh, my feed is very delayed. That is about 7/8 of an inch, so it's just one mark before. Now can you see how the paper runs in line? Looking at this, my borders aren't even, so I'm gonna trim. I'm very pedantic about that. Just a smidge. Okay, like that. Like that. And we're gonna cut the next piece. And that. Now you need to decide if you are wanting, let me grab some paper clips quickly. So I can paper clip this in, because later I might stick it upside down. Okay, so what did I want to say? Okay, with regards to closure. Now this one, this little booklet doesn't actually need a closure. It's not necessary. But if you wanted to, you could add something like, let me just see if I got it off right here. Something like this, where you put the one piece underneath that pattern paper like so, and it comes across like this, and you can add a magnet here. You can also add your pattern paper. What I would do is, let me just show you. So if you wanted to do something like that, say I would give myself, here's my school board, so I'd give myself about that much, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8 of an inch. And now remember, the spine that we've got is 1 inch, so we need to give this closure also 1 inch gap, so that it doesn't pull everything together. They're going to be even. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 1 inch. And then you need a piece that's going to come across the front. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm just going to give you an idea. I'm not actually going to do it. I don't think it's necessary. If you want to trim that straight. Okay, so we got our fold towards the bubble side. And this is basically what you will have. In this instance, grab my corner rounder here. You can round the corners of the one side that's going to be exposed. And what would happen is this would go underneath your pattern paper. So you need to put this down before you stick down your pattern paper. And then this would come at the top here. Okay, like that. Then you can either put a magnet underneath here, or you can create a little loop, if you want to call it a loop, where this will slide under. That's an option that you have. Okay, I'm just mentioning it by the way. Okay, so I'm going to distress my edges with my ink again. Are you guys liking this project? I thought it was a quick one. How long have we been on? 47 minutes, not bad, not bad. Okay, so that's going to go there. By the way, people, if you are in Cape Town and you are thinking of getting creative on Women's Day, South African Women's Day is on the 9th of August. The wonderful thing is it falls on a Saturday. Francis, Gordon and I are having a Women's Day event. We are making a little album. It looks like a bag with a little twist to it. I will be sharing the project soon. I just need to record the process, so those attending the event will have a video tutorial as well as a live event. In case they don't finish, then they have something to fall back onto. And so, yeah, if you're free and you'd like more information, you can reach out to us and we would be very happy to help you book for our event. We still have a few seats left, and it's based with our venue is in Rondebosch East, just off the M5. So whether you're coming from the north or the south of Cape Town, it's very easily accessible. So we're going to glue this down now. Now I see that side of the paper. I'm thinking, damn, why didn't I use that? Stick to the plan. Okay. Ugh, other side is just as gorgeous. But I think the Pegasus was theirs. It was too big for this project. Oh, and also for World Card Making Day. It's the first Saturday in October. Sorry, I just want to straighten that. I'm hosting an event at home. So if you are in Cape Town, I haven't posted the details yet. Oh, but I can show you a sample. I showed it on my Facebook thing earlier. So this is, we won't be using this exact paper, but this is the idea. This is the card that we're going to be making, something like this. That's one of the projects. It's like a bay window. I saw the idea online on YouTube, and now this is also a little bit big. Sorry, I'm just going to trim that. Can't do it. Cannot stick like that. And you won't believe how little I just trimmed off. It's just like a smidge. But that smidge makes a difference to the finished project. Right, we got that. Now we need to create something on the cover, right? Over here, I took one of the squares and I took some of the words and I cut the bird out. If you can see there, the bird is, we've got a little bit of foam tape underneath the bird. And that is something that I really enjoy doing. So let me find, oh, that's quite nice. Oh, that's quite nice. Let's see. I'm loving that circle. I might use it. Let's grab the rest of the paper. So I think the most important thing is my composition, because you all know how to stick paper down onto just plain old rectangles, right? Not that. Not that. Oh, this paper is so, so beautiful. What? Never stop looking up. Ooh, that's nice. What else is there? I'm liking that never stop looking up. Might use that. There's more circles there. Oh, there's a circle on there. I was saying earlier today, I looked at this piece and I thought, oh my word, this will make such a beautiful art piece in my house. Not that I've got any wall space left, but truly very cool. Just noticed something here now. Doesn't that look like a snake skin? Oh, I'm so scared of snakes. It is. Oh gosh, look at this one. Oh, now I'm getting... No. You have no idea. My phobia of snakes is real, people. It's real. Right. I need something for my cover. So let's see. Look, we've got these images on the front, but I want this to be more neutral rather than very theme specific like that. So I always say I'm the backside of the page girl, so I wonder if that won't look good. This is where the decisions come in. Okay, I'm going to go with that one. And I'm going to cut out that. Let's see. I just want to check what I would get if I use my 2-inch punch. Oh, it's too small. In my head, it always feels like it's bigger. Gosh, I really like that. Okay, stop faffing. I'm going to cut this up. Just want to grab my cutting mat again. I think that's too big. Okay. What did I do with my top of the scissors? Stamperia scissors, guys. If you are in the market for a scissor, this thing cuts like butter. It is incredible. And what's more is, it cuts double-sided tape like a dream. Let me show you. You know, I'm a Tim Holtz girl, eh? But look at that. Let's cut lengthwise. No stick. No stick. It's the best scissor I've ever had. Besides my Tim Holtz. And look, I use my Tim Holtz. You saw me using my Tim Holtz. But for my double-sided tapes and stuff, I think that thing is incredible. So what was the right and what was the wrong? Where's my book? Okay, I am going to cut that out. And so I'm going to try and make that my focal point. Sorry, I did not plan ahead. Kind of feel like if I do this live, then I challenge myself to think fast. Otherwise, when I work alone, then it takes me ages to make up my mind. So we got that. I am going to cut into that thing there as well. Just a little bit. Cut there. I want that circle. Such a beautiful piece. Do I want to cut it up? Let's get some of these circles. Yeah. There's a 2-inch foot on here. 1 3/4. These are my favorite punches, people. They work like a charm. EK Success. It just works. They never get tired. They really never get tired. Grab that. I need that one. So I've invested in getting the range of sizes. Oops, that's gone skew. So that you can cut circles quickly and easily. So let's distress the edges. I went skew on that one. Distressing hides all the sins. And we're going to do that. Oh, I wanted to distress it with my... I lost my little top of the scissor now. Don't know where I put it. Normally I'm so good. I put it on a place where I can see it and find it again. Because I'm one of those people, when I lose the cap of a bottle or something, then I feel like I don't want it anymore. It's one of my fails. Okay, and let's just do that. You can use a smaller dauber. Remember that piece I cut off earlier? It's gonna fit under here. Oops, wrong side. Oh, both the same size. Okay, they're both the same side. Then I need to find some words which will be on here. Right, this is now. Love is the one thing that transcends that. I love you to the moon and back. Oh, I like that. The cosmos is within us. We are made of star stuff. Shine like the whole universe is yours. The moon is always there, even though we can't see it. That's beautiful. To the mind that is still, the whole universe surrenders. Oh, why am I thinking too long? Whatever can happen will happen. How about that? Ooh, trust the magic of new beginnings. Let's go. I'm sorry, I'm being two-minded here. Sorry. So I'm just cutting this out very roughly. I don't need a perfect edge. I think just being a little bit skew here and there is part of the charm. So if you wanted to, you could take your little scissors and distress the edges as well. If you wanted to, you could cut into this and create a three-dimensional thing. So if you cut around there and around there, you can layer it. There's lots of possibilities. So let's see how we can do this. Ah, there is a circle there. Cool. So so weird, I can hear the TV of the inside in my ear here. Okay, so composition is not my strength. I always need to faff and play around with it first before I can find my mojo. I'm gonna cut the star out here. See, this one looks more or less the right size. Now, if I had the 8x8 paper pack, it would have been so much easier. Oh, that moon is nice. Because the 8x8, the elements would have been a lot smaller, and it would have been easier for us to add to a small base like this. You see how nicely this pen actually cuts through the card. I think Stamperia's paper is about 180 grams, more or less. So let's just see if I've got it all. Just the spot there. I I forget to look at the comments, guys. Hello, Debbie. Debbie, the what's this new collection, Francis? Help me. Venice has arrived. There we go. Venice is here. It's landed. So if you need any Venice, it's absolutely gorgeous. I actually have it here. I'm supposed to do a live with it. Okay. Small piece stuck there. I'm gonna take my scissors and neaten it up. Okay, and to hide all our sins, we are going to distress that edge. Just hiding all the white core pieces. You don't actually need to cut them all away. Normally I would take my time to cut this out. Okay. I have no clue what I'm going to do with this, but we'll see. So that I wanted to put on there just to offset it a bit. I still want that circle. Must I, must I, must I? That looks like something that can work. Okay, so in order to just give this background a little bit of pizzazz, there's my thingy. Let's see if we can put something in the background. I have Stamperia's embossing ink. So if you've got a Versa watermark ink pad, that will also work. This one is just a little bit juicier, but it does come in at a higher price. Now you can either push this through a stencil, or you can just stamp some random things on it. I want to check if I have some circles or something that I can put down. See, now I didn't plan this, so forgive me for keeping you waiting. I'm rummaging through my stamps quickly. Oh, circles! This is from Funky Fossil. Who designed this? Dello Designs. If I'm not mistaken, I think Claudine introduced me to this stamp. So, if you're not a stamper, inking up a stamp is just a very light tapping motion. You don't have to be. And I might not use the whole thing. I just want some interest in the background. And we might as well do whatever's left over on the back. Okay, now what color shall we go with? This one. Okay, my white pigment powder has gone somewhere. I don't know where it is. So we're going to go with gold. And I'm hoping I'm not messing up this whole thing now. So that's just a watermark ink pad. And I'm pretty sure all of you have some pigment powders in your stash. I use a fan brush to apply it because I find I can lift off less with a fan brush. Oh, that should be fine. Where's my cloth? Don't look at my dirty cloth. So wherever there was ink, clear ink, the pigment powder stuck to it. Now you can actually mix pigment powders. Looking for my That's a green one from Couture Creations. I don't even know if it's still available, but I just wanted to show you that you can mix it up a bit. What did I do with my cloth? And you can get a dimensional. I don't know if it comes up on the screen though, but here with the gold and the green mix, it came out like a rusty color. Okay, I digress, sorry, can't help it, I'm bad like that. So yeah, so now if we put our, oh, maybe I can rather do that like that. It's upside down. I'm not happy with this. I'm going to cut that out. Sorry, hide all the sins. Okay, and I'm gonna cut these words out. I just feel like that needs to be done. Could be missing everything up, but we have taken the plunge, so it's over. The sun must come at the top. So, trust the magic of new beginnings. I think I'm okay with that. Okay, so now this looks a little bit very naked for me, and so we just need something in the background there. I think this is also an All and Create stamp. I don't know, but I'm just gonna stamp some random stuff there. Cerulean blue. Let's just go with that. I'm gonna stamp it onto a scrap and then see if I have how the second generation inking looks. Stamp on a scrap. Oh, that's not the right color blue. No. No, 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 no. Perfectly. Maybe that's a better color. I might end up using brown actually. Oh, that's too bright. What does the second generation look like? Still too bright. I think I'm gonna go with brown then. Brown is my safe color. what's the right way. And this is just so that I have something in my background. It doesn't need to make sense or anything. It's just so that I kill that, what am I trying to say? So that I kill off is such a bad sounding word. I'm going to have some blue in there now. To get rid of, is this upside down now? To get rid of some of that very stark white that we have on that sheet. Because, you see, so now it looks like there's something more going on there. I just need to wipe my desk. Guess I've got ink on now. Okay, let's get back to this. And now I've completely forgotten what my original plan was, but I'm guessing we're gonna have to. What happened to my? Didn't I have another thing? Anyway. Okay. I need some texture in the background also. Now with my other one, I use some glamour paste, and I actually pushed through a stencil some of the glamour paste, but I used up the last of my glamour paste, so that's not gonna work. So let me get sticking glue. So this one I'm gonna glue flat, and then I'm just gonna put that behind it. Oh, I want this upside down. Is that the right way? Yes. This one I'm going to pop up on some foam tape. And I might actually just put some gauze behind it, just to give it some texture. Don't want it to be too white, so I'm just running my, yeah, that works. I'm just running my my ink pad over the gauze. I love using gauze and anything that can add texture to my projects. Let's put down the foam tape. So if you had die cuts, or which I don't have in this collection, if you had ephemera, those are all things that makes your creating your compositions a lot easier than having to fussy cut all the stuff, you know. And the die cuts are much more sturdy than this. Did I stick it the wrong one? Oh, anyway, nobody's gonna notice. The die cuts are more sturdy than this, so it doesn't require backing, because a lot of the time when I work with this kind of thin card, I mean, it's not very thin, but it's thinner than the die cut, then I back it up on another piece of card as well, just so that we've got something reinforced. See, now I changed my mind about that part, eh? Nevertheless, so what was the words? Trust. Trust the magic. See how cool is this? The sun rises for a new beginning of every day. Oh, that is so cool. I think I like that. Good choice for the words. Okay, now we need to just decide how we're going to arrange this. Trust. Cutting a piece of this off here. Oh, I just have to get this right. So I'm sorry for making you watch me do this over and over. Oh, I'm gonna cut now. So I'm gonna pop these up onto some foam tape because I'm a dimensional girl. I like everything with dimension. So just go, Shamela, just stick it. Draws the I love this new 6mm foam tape that I got in. It's perfect for all these little bits and pieces. Trust the magic. At the bottom, oh yeah, at the bottom, right? Does it look better at the bottom? The project super cute. Oh yes, it's really lovely paper. I think we. So I decided to cut my nails, and you know how hard it's been to peel back all these things. New. Okay, trust the magic of new beginnings. Then I can't not do this on my project, so oh, I still have my sun. fix that sun up a bit here. Sun is going to go there. So this sun, I would definitely, if I was not doing this online and I was doing a project for myself, I would definitely back this up on another card just to give it some additional support, if that makes any sense. So this is extra gloss finish. I don't think Stamperia does the extra gloss finish anymore, but they have the fluid gloss, which I believe is very similar. So it will do the same kind of thing. But if you've got glossy accents, anything like that, it will also work. And that is just so that I can add my little bit of sparkles to this. I think little finishing touches like this make the, oops, there's some here. It just finishes off your project nicely. So we've got that, and then I also wanted to put some of that in here. But I wanted the brown one and I can't find it. Oh yeah, it is. Burnt umber. It's one of my favorites. Oh, maybe I should just stick to the white, I don't know. And then of course on here, if you wanted to add anything else like additional stamping, because you know those are all the additional layers that you can add to make your project look different from the norm. So what we can also do is add some extra elements to the to this page, like you can take let me see if I have it handy. Oops. Yeah. So you can take like a watercolor. This is a sepia dark watercolor pencil. You can create lines underneath here and then just smudge it. You can do that. You can take a pen and literally make lines around it to add your own doodles to it. But if you look up close, you can see the little shimmer in the background. And then the other thing that you can do is, if you wanted to add additional shimmer to this, you can this is like glossy accent, so it will say I wanted to just highlight that. You know, so you can highlight certain things on your projects with these kinds of mediums. You can add glitter to that if you wanted to. I can show you. This is my glitter by I'll just do it on the one side so you can have a look at it and see. I'm a glitter girl, so always close your glitter when you're done. So you see, oh, I'm going to add glitter to the other side as well. I like that glitter. Okay. Like I said, close your glitter. When this falls on the floor, on the carpet, on the everything, you're not going to be able to get it back in the bottle. But that's your cover. Very simple cover. We could have gone more to town, but over here now you are going to place your photographs. What I normally do with my projects is I first print my photos and then I add my photographs before I start adding a whole lot of pattern paper. That's just me. I work with a budget with my paper and I know some people want a pattern paper on every little piece of the album, but for me the focal point of my albums is my photographs. So I had some white paper here. Let me see, I don't know what I did with it now. I always have photo mats handy, but let me just cut one so I can show you. So it must be 4. Okay, so remember I said a cropped 4x6 photo will fit in here. So that is a 4x6, and basically you need to take like that much off there, and then your page is filled. So you have to ask yourself the question, do you actually need to put pattern paper on here, or can you just let it go and possibly just put pattern paper on every second piece, or whatever the case may be. I don't have a big photo handy to show you, but I have some small pictures here. So I mean, for example, if I had to put these 2 pictures on here, then I would fill in the balance with my pattern paper. I normally, let me just grab a sample and I can show you. I hope there's a sample in this one. There we go. So here's a very good example. This is where my photograph would go, and I would then piece my leftover papers into those areas, so I don't feel like I'm actually wasting or cutting up a whole big full sheet just to accommodate that one piece. But it's entirely up to you. You can decide whether you want to fill every sheet with designer paper, or if you want to make your photographs the focal point. Possibly just do maybe on the front piece a designer paper, and then the rest of it you can have photographs, or you can have a message on the front. It depends what you're going to be using this little item for. So that is, let me just flip my camera quickly. I'm going to grab it out of the holder. Oops. Sorry. You're seeing my big mess. I'm trying to avoid you seeing my big disaster of a mess on the other side. I've got my sewing machine, my overlocker, my you don't even want to know what's all the. But ladies, thank you very much for joining me tonight. It was meant to be an hour, but I speak way too much. I'm so sorry about that. I hope it was beneficial. I hope you learned something. I hope it was a nice project. You liked it. And then remember, I'm going to post the link to the NSD Facebook page in the description box here. So if you're not familiar with the NSD, it's 2025 National Scrapbook Day. It's on Facebook. So you need to load your finished project in folder number 2, which is for the 2nd of July. That's my class. And of course, I did mention there's a prize up for grabs. So if you want to win the prize, you got to participate. Thank you so much. I'm looking at the comments if I see anything. Thanks, ladies. Do you miss the Wednesday night lives? Shall we start it again? I had to download all my Wednesday night lives if I wanted to keep it. So I'm going to load it on Facebook. That used to happen on the tutorials page. And I was like, wow, did I really make that? Because most nights we would just wing it, guys. We would just decide on the spur of the moment what we're going to do, and that was it. But there were some lovely projects, so I'm going to edit those videos and I'm going to load it on here. So in case you missed it on that page, you can always catch it on the side. And I have to end off with saying, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do. Don't forget to click that thumbs up button so that more people will see it. The YouTube algorithm will share it with more people the more thumbs ups I get. And the other thing is, don't forget to hit that bell icon so the next time I go live, you'll get a message. And thank you so much for joining me. That's it from me. Until next time, see you in cyberspace. Bye now.